doing what's comfortable, there's no growth there. We spoke earlier and I said how I was doing a 24-hour fast every Sunday for many months as well. Why? Discipline. I don't want to do a 24-hour fast, but I do 16 every day. I'm like, why not do 24? Challenge.
And you know what, even more beautiful? If you can change it from discipline to a habit. Because when it's a habit, it doesn't cost you effort at all. So for example, in the beginning, like doing an ice bath and doing 24-hour fasting, you do it like, first you need motivation. Then when you're surpassed that state of motivation, it's going to be about discipline. Discipline is way stronger than motivation. And the next level after discipline is seeing it as a habit. So it doesn't even bother you at all anymore. It's normal. That's the best state you can be in. And if you can reach that state, you're going to be a monster. It's going to be crazy. But in going back at that subject, at rewarding yourself, a lot of these guys who are entrepreneurs, have their beginning state of success, including me, they don't understand about the dopamine reward system. So how does that work? If you're going to reward yourself without any effort up front, you're not going to get any dopamine out of anything anymore, which basically means that if you want to do your normal work, it's going to be harder for you. It's going to be way harder because you already rewarded yourself without any effort in the beginning. So when I went back from Bali last summer to the Netherlands, I only wanted to stay for 1 month. But I was like, I'm not 100% satisfied. That's how I want my business to be. So I ended up staying for 5 months. Like, I can be in that state of discipline that I don't reward myself until I reach the goal. It doesn't matter what happens. Also, what I told you about bodybuilding, when I was at bodybuilding, everything has to move. I will crush any obstacle until I get to that goal. So I stayed there for 5 months, completely boring. And during summer, not doing anything, not going on holiday, not going to festivals, just going to the office and train every fucking day. And then I was like, okay, and now I reached this goal. I wanted to have this kind of revenue. I think it was maybe 50K a day. We reached that goal. Okay, now I'm going to reward myself with a trip back to Bali. Because if I didn't reach my goal, maybe only 50%, 70% of it, and I'm already rewarding myself by going to Bali, how do I expect to reach this goal then? If I already gave myself the reward. So you have to understand yourself in this terms of dopamine rewarding system, and a lot of people don't understand this.
And removing any of that unnecessary easy dopamine as much as possible as well.
Hard, bro.
Social media, playing video games, bad food, and that's why people that want to achieve extreme things live in an extreme way. Contrary to how the average person would live, by removing all of that dopamine. You said it earlier, eating clean, like making sure you eat clean food, because you get out what you put in, and if you're eating clean food, if you're staying disciplined, if you're not drinking coffee like you are, if you're not smoking cigarettes, if you're keeping everything super clean, your body's going to be in the best natural state and help you work towards the goals that you're achieving. So I think that discipline, it's not just coming from work, it's your life. It's how you actually live your life, and I think that translates into business as well, because you ask most people if they can lock in for 5 months and just focus on a goal. They cannot. To most people, 3 months is way too long. Even 3 months of doing that, they'd be like, no. But then they'll go uni for 4 years. Why? Because you're guaranteed something at the end. And I think that's the difference as well, is a lot of the time when you're investing in yourself, you're not guaranteed anything unless you have that mindset right and you're purely determined. But unfortunately, most people don't, because again, mindset is like a muscle. You have to train it.
It is a muscle.
We're speaking from... It sounds like you started when you were 18 in bodybuilding, so you got 12 years of experience. I wouldn't say I had this mindset always. It's grown over time, and I guess it's just like all these things, man. You have to just keep working on it to get to where you want to go. But to someone that's maybe so far on the other end and they're stuck in working a job they don't like, or they're in a similar situation to you where they've got a boss who doesn't appreciate them, where they're not earning much money, they don't know how to make money, they have the wrong mindset. It's almost like it works both ways, right? It can compound in the wrong direction as well, to where you feel so far that way, it's very difficult to get yourself out. But that is the power of just being surrounded by the right people. Like, I invited my brother over to Dubai to spend a week with me to help him build an Ecom store. He left so fired up. We were chatting every day. We were spending a lot of time together, which is nice as well. And he was just like, oh man, I'm just so much like it's different. He left a different person. Just his energy, the way he's talking, just with 1 week, And I think that's the importance of trying to get into the right circles, or just trying to confine in the right people, people who have done what you want to do, whether that be a coach or a mentor or even just a friend, because sometimes just a simple conversation or spending time with that person can start to retrain the way that you think.
That's what I'm trying to do with my best friend right now. He just opened his first store and got 2 sales 2 days ago.
Amazing.
He's like, I'm so happy. I said, yeah, I'm happy for you too. But he always has a mindset saying me, I hope so. I said, bro, if you're going to work with me, I would never want to hear you saying, I hope so again. Because hope is the equivalent of despair. Hope is for people that wish for a miracle. Hope means that you feel like, okay, I'm not able to put in the work myself, but maybe a miracle happens. Maybe I'll win the lottery, like my family. They always buy the lottery tickets that they never win. Maybe they win a bar of chocolate or a bike, but they never win the prize, and they still hope. No. For me, honestly, winning the lottery would be the worst ever, because what kind of effort are you going to still put in to make the money, right? Oh. How are people going to look at you? Yeah. Because you already won the lottery, you will lose respect. But anyway, and I told them, get rid of this mindset. Don't talk about hope. And then said, yeah, I will try to. No. Don't say I will try to. Tell me you're going to. I was like, okay, I'm going to make my first sale then. I'm going to open a store. So for him it's hard because he's the same age as me and he has always been in this rat race, right? But I'm telling him, bro, if you're 100% comfortable, you're gonna get out of this shit. Yeah. And I'm here to guide you. I will tell you everything you shouldn't do, what I did before, and it's gonna happen. Yeah. Get ready for it. Get ready to go walk into the office and say, I resign. Get ready for it. Think about this moment and you will see it will happen. So yeah, that's the power of manifestation.
For sure, bro. There's the words that you speak matter. And there's another guy from the US called Jesse Itzler. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he invited David Goggins to live with him in his house for like a month years ago. And he wrote a book on it. It's called Living with a Seal. Yeah. It's a really, really good book. But anyway, not to go down a rabbit hole, he says the words that you speak matter. And another thing he says is like never give your pain a voice. If you vocalize these things, if you say them out loud, they become real. Yeah. And I'd say,
it's even in the Bible, that. Beware of the power of the tongue. What you say can be real, especially in Bali. That's even
There's
crazier,
so much wisdom in the Bible, in the Quran. There's so many life lessons that can be learned. And where I was going with that is he gives a good example. There's a few examples. He said he used to walk into his office every day. This was when he was like sofa surfing, living on his friends' couches in New York. He would walk into his office every day and he'd say to his business partner, we're millionaires, they just haven't paid us yet. Yeah, and he went on to build a company called Marquis Jets, which is a private jet company, and he had no funding, he got investment, all of this stuff. It's crazy. But another thing as well, another example is a teacher told him that they thought his son was dyslexic. And he said, are you telling me that he hasn't quite grasped the concept, but he's working as hard as he can? He said, we do not say those words because the words that you speak matter. And even to that degree, it's just so powerful. Because imagine that. Imagine you've got a young child who's being told you're dyslexic. You're giving them something to blame. Yes. And I understand everyone's different, but to give these things label, you have ADHD, you have dyslexia, you have anxiety, you have depression, you give it so much power when you say that. Yes. And you can always retrain your mind. I say always, in my experience, okay? I've not suffered from these things, but I just think the way that you treat it can be so different without putting a label on it.
It grows if you give it attention.
Exactly.
That's why I'm going to tell my future kids they're champions. Yeah. They can conquer the world. They can do anything they want. And you will see, if you program it like this from young age, they will become champions. Yeah. But it really works like this. But and for example, we already discussed this book, Napoleon Hill. He had a son who didn't have a hearing organ. Yes. But he was still able to let him hear things. How's that possible? You can tell me.
This is what I mean. How many more examples of this do you need to see to believe it's real? Yeah. And for sure, you need to change the I try, I hope to I will, I have, and that's the same way that I have it with my affirmations. I've already achieved all the things that I'm doing. Yeah. It's not a case of when, it's if. Wrong way around. It's not a case of if, it's when. Yeah. I truly believe these things are going to happen. And then to actually get there though, because I think it's important that we note this as well for people that are listening, is you have to then work backwards from the goal. Like you said, just manifesting it is one thing, but then you have to do the preparation. You have to peel the eggs. You have to cook all the food if you're doing bodybuilding. So when you have your goals set and you have clarity on what you want to achieve, it's actually very simple to work backwards from them. because normally it just comes down to the task that you need to complete to get to that goal. And if you can think of the wider goals that you need to achieve to get to the bigger goal, then you work down from there.
Yeah.
Right?
Reverse engineering.
Exactly. That's the best way to say it. Reverse engineering.
Yeah.
And then, as you're working your way down, you then have complete clarity on what I need to do each day. And even to the point of managing your time. Does this work towards the wider goal? There's like 4 Ds. Do, defer, delegate, delete. And if you're organising your tasks in that manner, and you know what you need to do to actually move the needle to get towards the goals that you're working towards, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
You, like you said, you know it's going to happen. I know I'm going to achieve my goals because I'm doing all the things that are going to get me there. It's so powerful.
It's true.